Hi everybody, how are we all doing? I hope we're having a good week so far. So today is Thursday the 30th of January 2014, almost the end of the month, flipping hell. It's always a long month in January, isn't it? It's ridiculous I tell you. Anyway, here we are back, episode 12 of Arrow, titled Tremors. Oh my god, you lot must have seen this, right? You lot definitely saw this episode. It was just, wow. Yowzers. So let's quickly recap on a few things. First of all, obviously, this will be full of spoilers, so if you haven't watched the episode, don't watch this video. It's that simple, unless you do want to be spoiled, but that's entirely up to you. But you have been warned. It's that simple. So what did we have in this episode? Green Arrow and Speedy go out together. I say Green Arrow and Speedy, but what I mean is Green Arrow and Red Arrow both team up. Laurel is taken to one of those, drug addicts anonymous type places by her dad, even though he said that they were going for dinner. That didn't work out well. Moira has been given a proposition by Walter Steele to run for mayor against Sebastian Blood. That's interesting. Amanda Waller is back in this episode, and so is Bronze Tiger, along with the earthquake device. Now that's the one I want to talk about first, the earthquake device. So Bronze Tiger breaks out of prison through the help of someone who basically hid his Bronze Tiger's weapons inside of his body, and then literally took them out of his skin. It was just unbelievable right at the beginning of the episode. That was interesting. So Bronze Tiger breaks out of prison. He goes to this international arms dealer who has a job for him, and the job is to go and steal this the earthquake device, the prototype from season 1, from Malcolm Merlyn's mansion, of all places. I didn't even know that he even had that, to be fair. But yeah, that's the prototype, I think, before the eventual 2 that he got. So when Bronze Tiger does eventually deliver the goods, the Hood and Roy eventually stop them and stop the device, but it took Oliver to be himself. He had to reveal himself to Roy in order to make him stop the device, because he wasn't getting through to Roy as the Hood. Because we see at the beginning of the episode, he's training him, he's trying to get him to channel his rage, even mentioned Thea without giving anything away. He just could not get to him whatsoever, and it gave him reminiscence of what happened with Slade on the island. And that's where we get the flashback to Code, as an adjacent of what's happening with the present day, in that with Slade, obviously Slade doesn't know what really happened with Shadow. As far as he knows, Anthony Ivo killed him, but he doesn't know, how, the consequence of the situation of how she got killed. So with that in mind, when Oliver and Sarah go to look for Slade, he's managed to reconfigure the missile that they got from Fires back in season 1 to blast. He wants to blast the boat. And he doesn't care about the consequence. Even Oliver's saying that the boat's their only way off the island. Slade's like, I don't care, I'm going to kill him, I want him dead for what he did to Shadow. And Oliver wanted to tell Slade the truth, but instead he sort of changed it slightly and said that, that Shadow did love him. Not in the way that he wanted, but he still loved him. And there's Sarah in the background thinking, please don't tell him the truth, otherwise we're both dead. So she was quite relieved when he didn't say the truth, but he managed to calm him down, so that was good. Laurel, as I say, she's going further downhill. She did go for an interview. Her friend Joanna is back on the scene. She did go for an interview at Joanna's new firm that she's working at, but unfortunately, given what happened in the last episode, the charges and all that sort of stuff, and what happened with Sebastian Blood and in the drug addiction, unfortunately Joanna had to tell her that they're not going to take her on. So yeah, that really hit Laurel hard, so she wasn't really happy about that. Later on we see her go to the Verdant Club and get absolutely drunk. which point Thea calls Oliver, tells Oliver, look, you know, you've got to do something. Then eventually Oliver talks Laurel into going home and makes it short, you know, and asks for Thea to make sure she goes home, which she does. But for me, the big interesting thing was Amanda Waller, as I mentioned earlier. When Bronze Tiger goes back to prison, Waller approaches Bronze Tiger and basically tells him that she wants to, you know, enlist him as part of a team that she's putting together. But then she says, more like a squad. And I was just like, hell yeah, the Suicide Squad. Yeah, baby. I can't wait to see this. Oh my god. Can you imagine it? Bronze Tiger, I would imagine Deadshot as well. You know, it's going to be interesting to see who else they bring in. I'm finding it difficult to name some other villains' names that have appeared on the show, but you know, I would imagine also China White, maybe. We don't know if she's going to reappear. We know that the Huntress is going to be back by episode 17, so, and that episode's actually titled Birds of Prey. So yeah, you can imagine Huntress, Black Canary. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that one. So yeah, the Suicide Squad, I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So as I say, with Laurel, obviously she was totally drunk. She eventually gets home, stumbles into her apartment. It's an absolute mess, bless her, poor girl, and she passes out on the floor. But then she's like squinting because this blonde female is in her apartment, and as this female gets closer, Laurel's like thinking, and I'm like, please tell me she's hallucinating. Please tell me she's hallucinating. And it was none other than Sarah Lance. And I was like, oh no, oh Sarah, what have you done? And then that leads into next week's episode, titled Ed the Demon. Ra's al Ghul's other daughter, Nyssa, is on the scene, and she wants Sarah to come back to join the League of Assassins. Sarah refuses, so Nyssa does the only thing she can do, which is kidnap Sarah's family, or rather just Laurel and their mother Dinah. But I think the biggest impact, more likely, is going to be, the biggest shock is going to be, you know, Laurel and Dinah realising that Sarah's actually alive. Who are they going to blame the most? Quentin, Sarah, maybe even Oliver. We'll find out next week, I'm sure. But then, as I said, Oliver's now revealed his true self to Roy, so Roy now knows that Oliver is the Hood. He actually was grateful that Oliver revealed himself, because he actually thanked him for saving his life, and not just from the the guys that almost beat him up, but gave him a purpose. And Roy was so pleased that he can now actually have that relationship and connection with Oliver on that level, that now he can trust him, and they can trust each other as such. And then obviously Oliver at the end introduces Roy to both Diggle and Felicity, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, no, I think it was a really good episode, absolutely amazing. They're really knocking everything out of the park right now. It's amazing what they're doing, and can't wait for next week's episode. And I think it's either, let's have a look, 10, 11, 12, 13, so I think not next week but the week after, then I think they're going to go for another break, so maybe another 3-4 week break I think, and then hopefully all the way to the end of the final episode of the season, but we'll see. So yeah, be interested to see how it goes. But anyway, don't forget this weekend another Arrow character spotlight video. As yet I still don't know who I'm going to talk about, but you'll find out this weekend. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Bye.